This is my World Religions project for Judaism. So the origins of Judaism. The religion started in the ancient Middle East in a region known as the Levant, which is current-day Israel and Palestine. And the origins of Judaism are deeply rooted in the covenant between God and the patriarch Abraham. According to tradition, God promised Abraham and his descendants a land called Canaan, numerous descendants, and a special relationship. The religion developed as the Israelites, descendants of Abraham, shaped their identity through historical events, laws, and religious practices. So, Judaism is traditionally seen as a revealed religion. The foundational events, such as the Exodus from Egypt and the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, are considered divine interventions in human history. It is not a reform movement, but rather a continuation of the covenant established with Abraham. Judaism does not have a single founder in the way some other religions do. So Abraham is not the founder, he's just one of the main Israelites that helped found and spread Judaism, but other figures like Moses and other ancient Israelite leaders have roots in the religion, and the development of Judaism is marked by a series of events, revelations, and the establishment of religious laws rather than the singular influence of a founder. So now on to doctrines and teachings. Some of the basic beliefs are monotheism. Jews only believe in one God called Yahweh or Adonai. The covenant with God, starting with Abraham and later renewed with the Israelites at Mount Sinai, is foundational, like a lot of other religions. The sacred texts, or the Hebrew Bible called the Tanakh, is the primary sacred text, comprising the Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim. Most people know the Torah out of those. And Judaism historically has a strong sense of particularism, emphasizing the unique covenant between God and the Jewish people. However, there are also teachings about ethical conduct that extend to interactions with non-Jews. So, some teachings concerning death and afterlife. Views on the afterlife in Judaism vary, but traditional beliefs focus on the importance of righteous living rather than explicit details about an afterlife. Some branches of Judaism, like Orthodox Judaism, emphasize a future resurrection. Status in the afterlife. Judaism places emphasis on ethical behavior, adherence to religious laws, and fulfilling one's responsibilities. The concept of mitzvot, or commandments, plays a central role in determining one's status. So, mediators to the divine. There are priests in historical context, but there are no castes of religious intermediaries in the same way some other religions, like Christianity with priests. Rabbis are not intermediaries, they are just teachers and leaders. So some social and political implications. The absence of a formal priestly caste in Judaism has implications for social and political structures. Rabbi may guide the community, but political leadership historically rested on secular authorities. Judaism encourages an active ethical lifestyle. Observance of commandments, ethical conduct, and engagement in social justice are emphasized. While moments of quiet contemplation and prayer are significant, an industrious, righteous life is often promoted. Now on to dissemination. Judaism has historically been more localized compared to some other major world religions, though the primary dispersal of Jewish communities has been through diasporas, forced migrations, and voluntary migrations. So, some diaspora communities reside in Europe, Middle East, North Africa, and Asia. In Europe, these communities have existed for centuries. And obviously in the Middle East, they've been there since the beginning of the creation of Judaism. In North Africa, there's been significant presence in Morocco, Tunisia, and Algeria. And in Asia, communities like Iran and India have large populations of Jews. Here's a video about the Jewish diaspora. And now we are on to migration waves. So modern immigration. In the 19th and 20th centuries, there was significant Jewish immigration to the Americas, particularly because of events like the Russian pogroms and obviously the Holocaust in World War II. Significant amounts of Jews fled persecution and immigrated to the Americas. And then in 1948, Israel was established, and tons of Jews migrated there from various parts of the world. So how it spread? Obviously, we have, like I said earlier, one diaspora, which the Jewish diaspora refers to the scattering of Jewish communities outside the land of Israel. This occurred due to events such as the Babylonian exile and the Roman expulsion after the destruction of the Second Temple. Forced migrations, such as the Holocaust and Russian pogroms, have forced Jews to migrate elsewhere, which led to the establishment of Jewish communities in various regions. And voluntary migrations, such as economic opportunities, trade, and cultural exchange, contributed to the voluntary migration of Jewish communities to different regions. So there are many different sects of Judaism. The main three are Orthodox, Conservative, and Reform. And there are issues concerning the differences between them due to the severity and the strict adherence of the religion and the differences between the sects. So with Orthodox, they emphasize strict adherence to traditional Jewish law called halakha and the importance of Jewish traditions, whereas conservative Jews take a middle ground, combining tradition with a more flexible approach to modernity. And then Reform Jews adapts Jewish traditions to contemporary life, allowing for a more liberal interpretation of religious laws. There are also some other movements such as Reconstructionist Judaism, and all of these movements have a unique approach to Jewish practice and belief. Here's another video. This one is on the main three sects of Judaism. Now on to absorption. So the ancient Near East, where Judaism was originated, or the Middle East, the entry of Jewish communities had localized effects. The interaction with neighboring cultures influenced aspects of Jewish religious practices, and Jewish religious practices influenced the neighboring cultures. And then in diaspora communities, in regions with significant Jewish diaspora communities such as Europe and the Middle East, Judaism often coexisted with other religious traditions. These communities contributed to local cultures and absorbed aspects of their host societies. Now on the impact on existing belief systems and traditions. So the cultural exchange. Jewish communities historically engaged in cultural exchanges with neighboring societies, influencing and being influenced by the surrounding beliefs and practices in the communities that Jews migrated to. And then religious interactions. The interaction with Babylonian, Persian, Hellenistic, and Roman cultures impacted Jewish thought and practices during different historical periods. And currently, there's plenty of religious interactions between Jews and other religious people of different religions, and it has impacted and influenced thoughts of the Jewish religion. So now on views concerning the role of women, we have traditional roles and the new modern roles. So traditional Judaism has assigned distinct roles to men and women with specific religious obligations and rituals for each gender. But in more liberal movements of Judaism, there have been efforts to address gender equality, leading to changes in the roles of women in religious practices. Challenges to political authorities. In historical challenges, ancient times Jewish communities faced challenges from political authorities such as Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, and Romans, which often led to conflict and persecutions. Currently in modern Israel, the establishment of the State of Israel in the modern era brought about political challenges, leading to conflicts with neighboring nations and complex geopolitical dynamics. This is clear for us to see in today's world with the conflict between Hamas and Israel. And it shows the challenges that were brought about from the establishment of the State of Israel and neighboring societies. And then in global influence, Jewish communities globally have had political influence in various countries, particularly in Western nations like the US. Finally, onto changes over time. The evolution of beliefs. Judaism has experienced doctrinal developments and interpretations over time, with various movements such as Pharisaic Judaism emerging during the Second Temple period. The dispersion of Jewish communities led to adaptations and interactions with diverse cultures, influencing traditions and practices worldwide, as I showed earlier. And the emergence of Reform, Conservative, and other modern movements reflects responses to changing social, cultural, and intellectual contexts. In early years of Judaism, there was no Reform or Conservative Judaism, so as time went on, changes in social, cultural, and intellectual contexts have forced new sects of Judaism to emerge. So the long-lasting regional and world impact. With cultural influence, we can see that Judaism has left a profound impact on Western civilization, influencing moral and ethical principles, legal systems, and cultural expressions. For sure seen in the US, and then in Zionism and the State of Israel, we can see that the establishment of the State of Israel has had significant regional and global ramifications, reshaping the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. And during World War II, we saw a rise in Zionist efforts to conserve the Jewish religion. On current practice and global presence, we can see that Judaism is still practiced worldwide, as shown on the map right there, with Jewish communities found in numerous countries. The global Jewish diaspora continues to contribute to diverse cultures. Different religious movements within Judaism continue to shape its practice. As we said, the different sects reflect a spectrum of beliefs and observances. So the key changes during the spread, we can see a cultural synthesis with other religions and cultures. Jewish communities adapted to the cultures they encountered, leading to synthesis of local customs with traditional Jewish practices. This video on the right is a video about the Jews in Kolkata, India, and it shows the differences in culture in India, but the strong belief and strong adherence to the Jewish religion. Also, the interactions with other religious traditions such as Zoroastrianism, Hellenistic religions, and Christianity influenced Jewish thought and theology. So the current standing, diversity in beliefs. The diversity within Judaism includes a range of beliefs, practices, and interpretations, from ultra-Orthodox to secular expressions. And in migrant and modern society, Jewish communities have integrated while maintaining distinctive religious and cultural identities. Now, this is if Abraham or other early figures were alive today and were to evaluate the current state of Judaism, this is what I think they'd say. I think they might recognize foundational principles such as monotheism and the importance of ethical conduct, which were there when the religion was birthed. However, they might find variations of practices and interpretations such as conservative and reform Judaism, reflecting the dynamic nature of the religion over thousands of years. The emergence of different movements and adaptations to diverse cultures might be both recognizable and surprising to the founders. Thank you for watching and looking, and here's the bibliography. Thank you.